Is my friend actually a vampire? All right, buckle up. You're not going to believe this, but I've started to think that my friend might actually be a vampire. I know it sounds wild, but hear me out. So, it all began last winter during our late-night hangouts. We were binge-watching some horror series when I noticed something odd about him. First, he never seemed to get cold, even when it was snowing outside. In fact, he often joked, "What's with you humans and your need for jackets?" I just laughed it off, but it started to eat at me. Then there's the weird thing with mirrors. We were playing a game where selfies were mandatory, and whenever we'd pose for a pic, he would always dodge the shot, like literally just walk away at the last second. When I asked him about it, he shrugged and said, "I've got a face for radio, man." It was a weird comment that made me raise an eyebrow, but I thought he was just being self-deprecating. But it gets crazier. One night, we were at a party when a blood bag for a cocktail, sounds gross, was accidentally spilled. I swear I saw his eyes glaze over, and he started to look a bit hungry. I joked, "You sure you don't want to take a sip?" And he just laughed awkwardly and said, "I'd rather not." I brushed this off, but then noticed he would often avoid any food with tomato sauce or anything that looked like it had the slightest hint of blood. The final straw happened last week. He invited me over for a dinner party, which was super hush-hush. When I arrived, it was just him, and he had the somber vibes turned all the way up. There was no sign of food, just a dimly lit room and an odd assortment of old-looking books. Eerie, right? Anyway, I was trying to lighten the mood, so I cracked a joke about garlic bread, thinking it would get a laugh. But his face went white, no pun intended, and he said, "You might want to keep that away from me." That was it. Alarm bells started ringing in my head. But here's the kicker. That same night, his phone rang, and guess what was the caller ID? Dracula. Unknown number. I didn't even want to sound crazy, but I just couldn't keep it in. "Who's Dracula?" I asked. He just stared at me, a mix of annoyance and fear. "Wrong number," he muttered and shut it off quick. So what do you think? Am I just being paranoid, or do I have an actual vampire on my hands? Should I straight up ask him? I'm just trying to figure out if I need to start carrying garlic. Let me know your thoughts.